Hi guys, you're very welcome to episode 23 of the T's and C's Supply podcast. My name is Chelsea.
And my name is Tyga, and this episode is for everyone who's ever had that awkward voice crack. Oh yeah, I'm just going over there to visit my friend.
What? Wait.
No?
What was that?
That's when you're a teenage boy and you're going through puberty and you have that awkward voice.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that intro basically means that we're talking about puberty today.
That intro was so weird.
Do you want me to change it?
No. I just wasn't expecting you to come out with that.
You forgot I used to do that as well, didn't it? The start. That weird start. She never knows what I'm about to say. Never prep her for
I
it.
really don't like. But yeah, as Ty said, in this episode, we're going to be talking about all things puberty.
Yeah.
What a fun topic.
What a fun time. Huh?
Yeah.
Good soup. Huh?
Good soup.
Yeah, it's going to be a learning journey, I think, today. A lot of people are
Yeah.
going to learn nothing new because you're mostly over the age of 18. So you've all been through this.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's an important topic to talk about as well, because there's a lot of younger people that are listening to the podcast now. So hi guys.
Hi to all my students listening.
We just
This
wanted
is for
to...
you because... you know, it's not really covered very well in education.
But
Definitely not covered in a humorous way. It's not made to.
No,
it's not laughing matter.
It needs to be covered in a humorous way, but there are a lot of people that don't know and understand fully about puberty. So we're here to help you out, guys.
Yeah, and if you're a parent who's got any kids and you don't want to have the conversation, just pass them over to us.
Yeah, have the chat with them though. I do recommend that.
Yeah, or just put them on this podcast. Send them the YouTube link and say, listen to these two Egypts. Okay, they've been through it all. They've obviously had a lot worse happen to them. You'll be fine. Just listen to that. Leave me alone. Come back in an hour with any questions. My headset
is catching me here, lad. Sorry now.
Yeah, so
I'll fix myself.
So basically, we would be your puberty guides for the next hour.
I'm sorry. I apologize in advance.
Should we just get into it?
Let's get into it. So, for people that don't understand, puberty is when a child's body begins to develop and change as they become an adult. So they're basically going through change.
Or if you're from Carlow, this happens to you when you're 27. Sorry, I had to get a Carlo slag in there.
Oh my God, you know what? Even after being at Two Johnny's podcast last night, like Carlo people, he got raw deal.
Can we state actually before we start this whole thing, two lads who've done very well, who've gone through puberty very well and come back out the other side. You know, the two Johnnies, they put up some performance last night.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
If you don't listen to the Two Johnnies podcast, go and do so.
Or if you are the Two Johnnies,
listen to ours first.
Hello.
But you know what I mean? Go and listen to the Two Johnnies. Like, we seen them live last night, and I have to say, like, they literally threw it at the park. It was incredible.
And I'm sure they've probably discussed puberty many a time.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a very hard thing for them to do, like to do a live podcast, whatever about putting on a show and everything else, but to do a live podcast and all the segments and stuff like that they threw into it, like, was just...
They've set the ball the bar is very high.
And nearly too high.
So I'm just saying, if you ever expect us to play the Tree Arena, we're not going to be doing it to that level, okay?
No.
Lower your expectations.
Massively. Let's get back to the topic.
Back to puberty here a second. Let's get back to puberty, okay?
Back to puberty.
Right. Like, I'm obviously a science teacher, but I'm going to hand this over to Chelsea to tell us about the ins and outs. What's the standard? What's the standard age for people going through puberty?
Oh my God! Why give me the raise?
Because I'm going to go for all the extra details.
Well,
you
first
don't
of all,
know.
I'm going to give you the signs anyway of puberty. So with girls, it's developing breasts and starting their periods. Now, I will say, me personally, like when I started my period, it was so terrifying.
You've got me wondering now if I'm going through the female puberty. Jesus, these boobs are coming through. Fine, flipping heck.
It was, I have to say, for boys and girls, it's a very scary time of your life to like.
Well, the thing is, right, with puberty, like, it's at an age that a lot of the time parents don't feel comfortable talking to them about it, and it's not really covered at school until you're about 12 or 13. And for girls, like, not that I'm not going to mansplain to you what it's like to go through periods and stuff like that, but like, they can start as early as 8 years of age.
8 years of age,
it's
so
normally
that's
around
what
11,
I was
but like, you're not taught about in school till 12 or 13.
No, that's why I think it should be, and I think it actually is started to be taught earlier in school. Am I right in saying that?
In first year in Ireland, it's taught, so you kind of have it around 12 years of age.
But I think it's actually been brought into primary school. I could be wrong in saying this now, but any parents out there, let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm nearly sure I heard my cousin, he's in primary school right now, and he's actually been taught about it in sixth class, which is the right thing, because again, like Tyke said, there's boys out there that are developing early signs of puberty at the age of 8, 9, 10. Like that's quite
puberty
early.
tends to hit girls a lot sooner than it hits boys.
Yeah.
So boys tend to be a little bit later. It's normally like girls are like 11, boys tend to be 12 when they like the average. It's not obviously going for everyone, but boys tend to be a little bit later regardless, which is why when you come into like first year, you'll always see girls are a lot taller than boys. Because they've hit puberty just a little bit earlier. So like that's when you'll find that you can play mixed rugby, mixed soccer, whatever, because the girls would just bully the lads around the place if they really wanted to. And I love that. Oh God, it makes me so happy to see them just being pushed around the place and like, go on girl, get stuck in.
But for any boys out there that aren't aware of, do the early signs of puberty in them, boys develop a larger penis and tentacles and a deeper voice.
Hold
and
on, they develop tentacles. Holy crap, we're octopus now. Chelsea,
oh my God.
you've been going out with a man for almost an entire year. You've been in previous relationships. How many of us have you seen with tentacles? I'm going to correct that misconception, okay?
Testicles,
Men do not have tentacles. Oh my God, what kind of videos are you watching online? That's staying in. That's staying in. Okay, no. Clip it. Okay, let me take over the man side of things. I think you should stick with the women ones and I'll stick with the men ones, okay?
So, sorry lads, testicles.
You developed
testicles, not tentacles. Oh, what a great start to this episode.
What do you know about puberty?
This is why me and Tyke will never make it to Tree Arena.
If we ever do, I'm bringing out a fella who's just got about 10 tentacles all over the... Anyway, going back to it. So fellas, kind of around 10, 11, 12, you're going to start, your penis is going to get a little bit bigger. Yeah. Okay? If you're lucky, you're going to get a lot bigger. But that doesn't matter either. And you're going to develop testicles. Now, your testicles are already inside you, but it's more the motion.
The people are watching YouTube video.
I'm clipping it. It's going to be on TikTok and Instagram now. Anyway, let's
actually get through a full episode. Okay, come on, get your shit together, guys. Okay,
that's it. They're two big factors, but there's other stuff that happens to men. Some stuff, and some of them happen to women as well. We get broad shoulders, so men kind of develop this kind of, I like to call it the upside down Dorito. That kind of triangular shape. Your shoulders get a bit broader, and then your waist comes out a little piece, but not much. For women, it develops way wider. So your hips start to brighten completely.
Yeah, we get the hip dips.
The hip dips. What are those?
Have you ever noticed the hip dips?
You're gonna have to explain.
How do I describe hip dips? So it's like basically like our like you said, our hips become a lot.
They kind of get that hourglass.
Hourglass. But say when a girl's like standing straight, you will kind of see, so she has the hourglass, but there's kind of like a dip in her hip area from a hip down to her, say her thighs. Okay. There's a little bit of a dip. Like say if I stood up, you'll actually see here, I'll have a little bit of a dip. That's every girl. And like a lot of girls are very conscious of that.
Why?
Because it just doesn't look nice. Like say if you're wearing like if you're wearing shorts or if you're wearing a bikini, especially if you're wearing a bikini, that's why a lot of girls won't wear a bikini, because when they're standing straight, you can see the hip dips.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the way it's like from their hip, and when it connects to the thigh, there's like a little bit of it's like a dent in your hip. It's very hard to describe. You have to kind of see it.
I kind of get you, but
I guarantee you the girls out there will agree with me that hip dips are a pain in the ass.
And I guarantee you most fellas out there are wondering the same thing I was like,
what the fuck is a hip dip?
Like,
it's all in the head. Yeah. It's all in hips.
But anyway, so the average age, like we said, the average age for girls to start their puberty is 11, but it's normally the age that it's usually about between 8 to 13 that they usually, I think I was I think I was 9 when I started my...
Here's a question I have for you, okay?
Go
and
on.
I put it into part of my research because I had to ask this question. When you had your first period, were you embarrassed by it? Or were you ready? Did you expect it? Or like, did you know what a period was?
I had an idea of what a period was, purely from like my aunts and stuff, like my mum and stuff would have told me to, but it's like, it's hard to describe. Even though I knew what a period was, when I got it, I still panicked.
Yeah.
I was petrified. I'll never forget it. I was at home and it was just me and my 2 brothers, and I got my period. My mum wasn't home at the time, and I got my period, and I remember just screaming down the stairs.
I'm bleeding! That kind of thing, is it?
I remember, I'm not even kidding, I remember just being in the bathroom and Sean was downstairs. I remember just screaming down the stairs going, Sean, I'm bleeding. Now Sean obviously knew exactly what it was, and he was like,
Sean was like,
calm down.
I ain't going over there, thanks very much. You'll be alright.
No,
is that your
fairness,
nose?
Like, he
no, I'm not coming up.
In fairness, he could have, like, Sean probably doesn't even remember this, like, but he could have easily like got like really weirded out and stuff like that, but he was so nice about it and he was very comforting about it. He was like, Chelsea, it's your period, calm down kind of thing. But he wasn't being like, oh, just get over it. He was like, it's just your period, calm down, don't panic, it's okay. And he went and got me like a hot water jar, you know, put
and
out like, he gave me like
another
clean
reason
pages.
Why Sean is the number 1 child.
That's why Sean's the golden child.
You were the golden child, Sean.
I have to say, I was scared because of the fact that there was no female in the house at the time. Like my mum, I don't know where she was. My mum was not there, so it was just my brothers. And Scott just didn't fucking entertain me at all. But Sean was like, straight away, like when I like shouted down the stairs, Sean was like, Chelsea, it's just your period. Like, calm down, don't worry about it. He went and made me a hot water jar and like, you know, put on like a movie on the TV and just told me to lie up on the couch because it was my first period. Oh my God. Like, this is one thing I want to like make very known to males out there.
Okay.
The feckin' period cramps, lads, are
brutal.
Oh my, like, there's nothing like it. Girls, back me up when I say this. There is nothing worse than period cramps. It genuinely is so painful. And when I was younger, right up until like my mid-teens, I would have gotten extremely bad period cramps to the point where like I'd have to like come out of school and stuff like that. I just wouldn't be able to bear them.
You know what? I weirdly have a fact about that one.
Go on.
Okay, now again, this is hard to find in Ireland because for some reason Ireland just doesn't like to talk about this stuff.
People get weird
about
talking
taboo,
about shit
where
like
I'm
that,
like, you know, feck it.
It's
like,
a natural thing to talk
it's
about.
The most natural thing. 50% of the world's population go through it, so you might as well like discuss it.
Yeah.
350,000 girls over in the UK every year miss at least 1 to 2 days of school because of their period.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of people.
Because you're in a lot of pain. Like, people just think, oh, it's your period, go over. But you have to remember, girls go through this every month. Like, they go through this once a month where they're genuinely in so much pain that half the time, like, there was moments where, like, I genuinely couldn't even stand. I'd be like, I'd be like leaning over counters in school. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't talk to anybody. Tears would be coming to my eyes. I'm like, I just want to go home. I just want to go. And like carrying like heavy book bags and everything else in their back wasn't because
it doesn't help
as well. When you get when a girl now again, this is just me personally. Girls, I could be, you know, you could be totally different. But like when girls get their period cramps, it actually travels through their back, and like I find I get very very bad back pains as well. Like. Ooh. Yeah, so I'd be like walking around like rubbing the bottom of my back. So instead of having the hot water, sometimes I'd have a hot water jar on my tummy and a hot water jar on my back because the pain just shoots through your back. Like,
do you know what one of my old school did? And it was more the women in the science department did, and I thought this was genius. And I think more schools should adopt this kind of thing. Yeah, because it's not something that's like wholesale across all education. The ladies in my science department made sure that we had at least 4 or 5 hot water bottles available in the science department at all time.
Oh my God, that's
and we obviously had kettles.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we had kettles because we'd obviously be able to boil water and stuff like that. And if a girl came looking, and quite often, like me being, I was the head of the science at the time, a girl would come to you and be like, any chance of a hot water bottle? They would come to me in private, or they'd come to one of the other teachers or whatever, and like you'd have 4 or 5 of them. Because when you think about it, like in your average school, if there was 600 students, 300 of them are going to be girls. Yeah. You're looking at least, you know, a couple of people being on their period every day inside in a school. Someone's going to need.
I think every school should adopt that. That's a great idea. I love that. I wish my school had that.
And the other thing that I think as well that should be taken into account more, and I've seen some schools do it, and it's still again not all over. I'd love to know if you're a teacher out there, does your school do something like this? Back to that statistic where there was 350,000 girls per year would miss school. Some of it is down to the cramps, and some of it is down to not actually being able to afford the sanitary products to use while in school.
The price of like feminine products.
We'll come to it. We'll come to it later
mental.
on. But again, going back to some of my old schools, I know certainly in my second last school, they had like a nurses kind of area where like if you were ill in any sort of way, you
like
would
a
go
nurse
see.
station. Yeah, nursing station.
Right. Not all schools have that. But in our old one, they did. And if you were someone who couldn't afford sanitary products or whatever, you could go there and get your stuff for free.
That's a great idea.
I think it's great because it kind of takes away that fear of what happens if I have a period in school and I don't have stuff with me and I can't afford to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Because like it period poverty. It's not fair.
No, it's not. Because at the end of the day, like the girls don't ask for this. You know what I mean? We don't ask to get like our periods once a month. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's not fair for especially younger girls to have to like pay out like I actually like I think they're like €5-6. Once they were like €3 a box or something like that.
Let me hit you with some stats.
Oh, go on.
Okay, so again,
because it's a freaking joke, man.
I hate that I have to do this through the UK stuff, but it's really hard to find all this information from Ireland. But bear with me, okay? The average cost of sanitary products per year in the UK is about £128. That's what an average woman would spend. Come
on.
Yeah, it's a lot. Now, this is where my scientific brain becomes a real pain in the ass because I had to then do a lot more math than that because I was like, well, now I need to know what it costs over the like length of time that you'd be having periods. So the standard. This is what that was just on a Tuesday.
This is the common thought.
Common thing that I would do on it. Tuesday after school, like what do you do for 20 minutes? I'm going to just Google how many periods a woman will have in her life. If you take the average age that a woman would be when she goes through menopause, okay, they're normally, I know it's 40s, 50s and general, but
it's different.
Again, what I found online said around 51. So if we take 51 and then the average age of puberty, which is like 11, you got 40 years of periods, right? Multiply 40.
A long time.
That's a long time. So 40 years of periods, multiply that by £128 a year.
Now, as well, you have to take into consideration when a woman has a child, she doesn't have a period at all.
Listen,
I'm just saying there could be 9 months there. I'm
just going with the bare stats. I can't take into account how many women are having babies and all that. This is basic maths. I'm not trying to write a fucking PhD on this stuff. Right? If there's any university that wants me to do a PhD, I'll go do it for you, all right?
Go on with your facts.
Anyway, so if we just take into account that no babies along the way, 51, average age of 11, Jesus, I feel like I'm being quality assessed here. It's about £5,120 over your 40
lifetime.
Years.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Your lifetime of periods, okay? Now, here's things you could have had instead of the cost of all that stuff.
Oh, wow. Just going to depress me, right? Okay.
You could have bought, instead of all those sanitary products.
I feel like we need to have like a game show kind of
sound over it.
Sound over this.
Cue the music.
What you could have had if you didn't have a period.
Here's what you could have won.
Go on.
15,360 Freddo bars.
Jesus Christ, it's a lot of chocolate.
I'd choose them. You could have had a 48-day holiday in Spain.
No way.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Or you could have had 2 months rent in Dublin.
Oh my God. Only 2 months?
Yeah. On the current housing market anyway.
Oh, lads, does that not show you the housing crisis in Ireland? You can only pay for 2 months. Oh, wow. That's mental.
Yeah.
That's mental.
It's crazy, isn't it? Good old Dublin.
See, just goes to show it actually, like, this is what annoys me. It costs women to go through, like, you know, to go through the menstrual cycle. Do you know what I mean? It's actually costing us.
It's an expense.
We're out of pocket here, lads.
You could have been living in the city centre there for that.
I could have been, sunning in Spain. Like, do you know what I mean? I just think women, like, I know there's a few places. I think it's a little.
I've just clued into the fact that that holiday in Spain is the exact same length of time almost as what you would have as renting in Dublin.
Yeah.
That actually shows how expensive it is. You could live in Spain for 2 months, like your average holiday, just having the grey crap every day, or live
just pay
in
the
Dublin.
basic rent in Dublin, like. What
Shocking.
does that tell you? But like, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a little. I could be wrong.
Lidl's they had a program where they were giving them away for free.
They were giving them away, but it's not, I think
it's great.
It's completely right. Like it's mental. The price of tampons. So there's like some women are different. Some women use sanitary towels. Some women use tampons. I personally use tampons. They're like €5-6 a box of 10. Like,
it's mental.
do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually insane. Money. And you could go through 2 boxes a day in one menstrual cycle.
Hold on, how many boxes a day?
Not a day. Did I say a day?
I thought you said a day there. Did you say you go through 2 boxes a day?
No.
That reminds me of that
During
quote from Mean Girls.
Cycle.
You ever
that quote
from Mean Girls?
can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide-set vagina.
Yeah, I can't do this.
No, I did.
Putting you in the burn book.
Jesus Christ, have some flow if you're going through 2 boxes a day. No, because again, some girls are different. Some girls could have their period that could last 2-3 days. Some girls last 7 days. Like when I was in my early teens, when I got my first period up to my early teens, like my period could last 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a lot. Sanitary products to go through.
That's a quarter of a month, like.
That's mental. Now, as I've gotten older, mine only lasts like 3 days max. But like there are girls out there that are going through it a lot longer. Can you imagine how much that cost their parents? Do you know what I mean? Having to go through that. This is why I'm like, sanitary products, female products should be free. Should be. Fucking 100%. Condoms are free in places.
In some places.
Do you
Also
mean?
depends on the condoms. But yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? This is
I get you.
Condoms are free, but yeah, female products are not.
Mm-hmm.
And women don't have a choice. They have to go through this. This is what baffles me. It's actually like, I'm not saying like men don't go through it. Now, isn't there something that men go through? Don't men go through like some sort of like a monthly hormone thing?
What, we synchronize with you?
No.
We're just
That's
moody
another thing as well.
That's
for people who don't understand that about women. Women synchronize.
Well, do you know
if
what?
you spend long enough in, if you like, say, if you live with a female or something like that, women's periods synchronize.
Yeah.
So like I could have mine this week, and then the girl I live with could be next week, or they could actually genuinely synchronize.
Apparently, that rumor has been dispelled, though.
Oh,
apparently so. But I'm not gonna lie, I've lived with loads of women over my time, and pretty much in all scenarios, you all sync up with the alpha female.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, sure, it might be dispelled by science, but it still actually happens quite regularly. Yeah. So explain that.
Any woman that I've lived with now, we would synchronize. It's always a week apart. It's mental. So it's like,
do you know what I learned
if
about
I've got
my time?
mine, they'd be like, oh shit, that means I'm due mine next week. I didn't know.
Do you know what I always took from that as well? Because I lived, obviously I had 2 sisters growing up.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, I lived with like at least 3 girls every year that I was there. Some years there was like 5 girls living in the house. And, and I would be like the only guy. One thing I always learned was like, when they all synchronize, you either become the butler and you become super nice and you're like, oh, I'll bring you chocolate or take you wherever you want or whatever. We'll watch The Notebook or whatever. Or you just get the hell out of there and just leave them all alone.
Yeah, see, some women are different. Some women just kind of go in themselves, or some are just
either they want cuddles and they want the affection and attention and looked after, or they want you to stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, it's hit and miss. It's all got to do with your hormones.
Yeah, it's all hormones.
Yeah, it's all hormones.
Which is like fair enough.
It's a hormone release.
But from a guy's side of things, right, and this is a message for all the young fellas out there, it's good to know when they're on their period. You don't ever ask them if they're on their period. That is a big mistake.
Don't ever ask.
That is a big mistake.
Are you in bad form because you're on your period?
Shock mistake.
No!
Right? If that's in your head, then you need to go out to the shop, buy some chocolate, take it home, and then leave and just get out of the way. Okay? Because as soon as you've made that assumption.
This is my question to all the males out there. Why do you instantly go for chocolate? What's that about?
Because a lot of, you're like
I'm different.
An anomaly. You don't like the chocolate, right? She doesn't like chocolate, but a lot of women will be like, "Give me chocolate. I need chocolate."
Yeah, I'm like, cool. Polar opposite. I'm like, why are you giving me chocolate? Why?
And I'm like, okay, here's flowers. Okay, bye. Okay, but the thing is, right? And guys, you need to see it from this point of view, right? Imagine for 7 days, the maximum. Imagine for 7 days a month, you just randomly bled out the top of your penis. Would you not be a little bit angry and upset at times too? Like,
exactly,
it makes sense. Don't annoy them, okay? They bleed, we don't. Period parties.
Yeah.
Have you heard of them?
Yeah. Never been to one. Which I don't even know why these are a thing. Like,
hey, imagine if you guys start getting invites from your younger cousins
me
for this.
To a period party, I'd be get to France.
I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea. So for anyone who hasn't heard of it, right, a period party is something that happens for young girls when they have their first period.
Must be an American thing,
right? It definitely started in America. You know it, right? Where essentially when you have your first period, you invite all of your girlfriends over. And you have a little night celebrating it, like lots of games.
Celebrating it? You don't celebrate your period, lad.
Hold on. Why not?
Why would you?
Why not? It's
Woo,
it's the next stage of your life. What around it?
I can't think of anything worse than having a period party. When I have my period, fucking just leave me alone.
Hold on. Is that not a great opportunity to have a girls' night?
Yeah, but like just have a girls' night. Don't call it a period party. That's weird, man.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here's my recommendation though. Right.
What?
This would be the funniest thing. And I think if you have a child and they decide they want to have a period party, great. But you gotta play this one trick on it, right?
Go on.
All the girls get invited over.
Yeah.
And invite one, maybe two boys, and don't tell them what the period party is about. Just tell them it's a party. Confuse the hell out of them.
That just made it even weirder.
That's what. But like, line up all your standard stuff. Like, I've done my research on this now. So like, you might have like red velvet cake. You might have like chips and ketchup. Like the whole theme that they do of this is like red, basically. You know, about periods.
Everything's just red.
Everything's just red. Cranberry juice or whatever, and like you might have in Ireland, it's probably like Tenora. TK red lemonade. But line them all up. Obviously all the girls know, don't tell the lads, just invite them. They think that they're here for a party.
Oh my god, the poor lads are traumatized.
But they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. They just think, guys, this is awfully strange.
The idea of a period party is weird. Like,
I don't think it is.
It is. It's weird.
You got the only way to make people more comfortable with this kind of stuff is to normalize it.
I'm all for normalising it, don't get me wrong, and I think it should be normalised, but like throwing parties about it.
Why not?
That's the last thing I want to do when I'm on a period.
Not?
I want to come home and get a hot shower, into my PJs, and lie down with a hot water jar. That's all I want to do when I get my period.
If we ever have a daughter, end of story, we're having a period party. You don't have to organise it. I'll do it. I'll organise it. I'm game for that. Me and whatever future daughter of mine, we're going to have the best period party ever. Okay? And there's going to be some young fella called Packy O'Connor who's going to be invited, and he's going to be like, this is a great party, Mr. O'Donovan. I've no clue what we're celebrating. I'm like, don't you worry, Packy, boy.
You don't need to know.
Just enjoy your time. Just enjoy the time.
Oh, the poor fucker. Right?
God bless puberty. I'm just glad we're over it.
Oh, well, you're over it, yeah, most of it.
Still
anyway.
act like a 15-year-old.
Just going to say, like,
you know.
But parents out there, if you haven't had the chat about puberty's
and tentacles.
with with your kids, have it, because you're helping them.
And likewise,
do you know what I mean?
just send them the first
school,
half of this
podcast. It could
podcast.
be kids going through puberty and your child doesn't understand what's going on. So it's good to let them know. It's not a nice conversation to have, but at the end of the day, just like the birds and the bees, the chat needs to happen.
Something that I did that was genius, right? And I encourage parents, if you don't want to have a direct chat about this, feel free to do something similar, right? When we talk about the like sexual reproduction and like fertilization, all that stuff in school, sometimes what I will do is I'll get a box where I'll then at the start of the lesson give everyone a blank piece of paper, and at the end of the lesson they all have to put the piece of paper into the box. Whether they write something or not doesn't matter. They all have to go to the box to put something in. The reason why is it gives kids an opportunity to write a question of something that they're wondering
curious
themselves
about.
They don't have to put a name to it, so it's all anonymous. And then put it in, and then I'll look through them myself. If I think it's an appropriate question, I'll answer it in the next lesson, or I might put some answers up on like the Google Classroom.
Oh, that's a great idea.
If you're a parent, totally feel free to
Do it
put
that
like
way.
a little box in there and just let them put their own questions in.
That's actually a good
And
idea.
then you can always write the answer and then put it back in their bedroom. There doesn't have to be the physical conversation if you don't want to have the physical conversation.
Yeah.
It's a good starting way. But
Yeah.
I would say definitely have the conversation. It's easier.
Yeah, you're better off just getting it out of the way at an early stage. I'm not saying start really, really early, but again, especially when it comes to girls, I can't stress this enough, especially when it comes to girls, there's girls that go through the change so early before they even hit their teens, like from the age of 8 up. So please have the chat with your kids so they're well educated and they're prepared for it, that they're not freaking out, because there's freaking kids out there that have not had that talk and they don't know what puberty is and they don't know about the change, and they're all of a sudden they're getting hair in places and they're like I said, girls bleeding and they're like, oh my god, I feel like they're dying.
Oh, that's actually something that's really common. Is that
genuinely feel like they're dying.
Loads of girls that are really young that haven't had the explanation to them, whether it's in school or by parents or whatever, like they feel like they're dying.
Yeah.
Because they're like, why am I randomly bleeding? And everyone associates blood with death at that age.
Yeah.
So automatically you're like, oh, well, I'm about to pass out. Someone start planning my funeral.
Yeah.
Like, it is scary.
Just
so like,
educate
them.
This episode is sponsored by D-Armour Sportswear.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
Why?
That as a Munster man, I have to concede that some of the best sports kit in Ireland is being made in Leinster. Okay?
Suck on them apples.
And so the D-Armour kit has been growing ridiculously. It's like taking over all of Ireland. Clubs, teams everywhere looking for D-Armour kit. It's just amazing. It's savage quality.
Oh, it's unreal quality. Like, and before I even knew anything about the armour, I never knew anything about jerseys. I never wore them. Had no interest in them. I don't even know anything about sport. Like,
it's very true. She knows nothing.
I know nothing about sport. But when I met Liam and the quality of jerseys that he sent me, I'm obsessed. Like, jerseys is the new fashion.
It's just
and
lovely.
It's not even jerseys, lads. Half zips, jackets, tracksuit bottoms, shorts, the lot. He has got everything.
The armour is not here to take part. They are here to
take over. Hey!
So
nice.
If you want to check out the Armour Kit, you've got to go check them out on Instagram or TikTok or their website, d17armour.com. Go look at them, because I guarantee you will be thinking, can I make my club crest look good in that shit?
Like, do you know what we should get?
What?
T's and C's jerseys.
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
Jerseys. Stop it! Oh my God! We don't even have a team that we could play with.
We don't even have a team. We're our own team.
What sport could we take? This is for another time.
Another time.
Forget about that. Back to the episode.
Let's go.
Let's move on to something less embarrassing, but still embarrassing. Things that you find embarrassing that happen to you that aren't technically embarrassing,
well, yeah,
but you feel like they are.
So much I do that's embarrassing, but I probably think people are like, Chelsea, it's not embarrassing. That's just normal.
So what have you got? Have you got a list of things that you find embarrassing yourself that you do?
Well, it's personally stuff that, well, there's things out there that I have a list of stuff, right? that people do, right? That normal people do that they find embarrassing, but like us as people probably wouldn't find embarrassing, right? So the first one I have is walking back from your turn in bowling.
I love that though.
No, it's grand, but for some reason you kind of have that awkward thing that's like everyone's like, say if you got a strike or something like that, everyone's like cheering you on, you're like, thanks, and you're like feel really awkward. You're like, right, go on, just take your turn.
Not if you're in my family. We got a video of Dad before at bowling, and he's got like 3 or 4 pins left, knocks them down, and he does this like hilarious little celebration jump. Absolutely love it.
I've seen that video. That was a good video.
I put it up on TikTok.
And it was some shot as well.
I put it over his sound, so it makes it look like he went raw, really loud.
Great shot.
But yeah, I think my boy might post that on the story. Give Dad a little bit of credit.
Right.
Give him that little bit of internet fame that he's that he doesn't realise he likes.
Another one I have is getting up to throw something away in the middle of a meeting or class. That happened to me so many times in school. Like if I was going to throw something in the bin in school, or I go up and sharpen my pencil.
Standing at the top of the class.
Standing at the top of the class, and you feel eyes at the back of your head. You're like, oh my God, why is this so embarrassing?
I think this is where it's changed.
And I get so paranoid. I'm like, is there something on me?
A load of kids now love just walking to the top of the class.
That's just
taking their time and then watching everyone like creeps.
Yeah.
Just, hey guys, it's just me sharpening my pencil. How's the lesson going? Like weirdos.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a weird one, all right.
Like, sharpen your pencil up or whatever is in the bin and go back to your seat and stop being creepy. Okay.
Another one I have is this one. I relate to this one so much. The last few seconds of a Zoom call where everyone is trying to leave at the same time, and you're like, okay, bye, and then you're like, just trying to leave.
you're maintaining the same smiling face.
You're still looking at the camera, and you're like looking for the
internally
meeting.
You're like, I need to get out of here.
Oh my God, that happens.
I don't want to be the last
much.
one with the person who organised the meeting.
So awkward.
No, what's worse than that is being the first one in.
Yeah, and you're kind of waiting.
So you're
That's
there
like
with
going live.
you're there with the organizer, and you're just like, so how's the week going? Anything exciting going on? What did you do at the weekend? Oh, you went to Malaga. You went to Malaga for holidays. It was interesting.
It's so awkward.
Yeah. How's the wife and kids? Good, great. Yeah. Rory's playing rugby. Is he? Fair play. Under 14 now. God, he's getting big. Yeah, that's literally the routine I always go through. Is like, what you do for the weekend, holidays.
Yeah, it's an awkward
family.
one, isn't it? It's just a.
And after that, if no one else has gone in, you have technical issues. Just shut the laptop down and run away, because that's you run out of conversation.
Yeah, just run. It's easier. Another one is just standing there contemplating your existence while everyone sings happy birthday to you.
So awkward, isn't it?
Especially in a restaurant.
I don't know what the behaviour is.
It's so awkward. You're like,
29 years of my life on this earth, and I still don't know what the appropriate reaction is.
You just smile. Smile and wave, boys.
I've seen people do like, they've done this, keep singing, because they're like, it's funny. And you're like, yeah, but it's not like, it's not awkward. You just go,
Do you know what's even awkwarder is working in the hospitality tray and you're the one bringing out the cake and you have to try and get people to start singing. Like you're I used to hate that working in the hotel and you'd be like, come out and sing Happy Birthday with me. I'm like, I'm not singing Happy Birthday. I don't even know these people. Chelsea, don't make me sing on my own. So I'm there walking behind singing Happy Birthday to this complete random person and you're there trying to start. None of the family members are singing with you.
No.
I hate it. You're like, you motherfuckers. You're meant to sing with.
Or there's that one relation that does it, but pretends that they don't know what their name is as well. Do you ever that one?
Yes.
So like, it'd be like, let's say, we'll take my sister, for example, be like, happy birthday, dear. And everyone goes, Linda. And they go, oh, Linda. Happy birthday to, and you're like, oh, or where they put in nicknames, or everyone doesn't know what, especially if everyone joins in and they're like, what the fuck is their name? Quickly, someone, what's her name? Or
you have people saying like the name.
Sinead, it's Sinead's birthday.
You could have someone saying the name, and then you could be like the kids being like, Mom. Yeah, it's just really awkward.
No one. Yeah, they need to find a way of solving that.
This next one. This one irks me. Watching a sex scene with your parents.
Oh, can you feel the awkwardness in the room?
Oh my God. That is an ick right there.
The only thing that I think is funnier than that, and I've yet to do it, and I'm glad that Mum and Dad probably aren't watching this podcast, because this is something I'm going to do. My sisters listen, so they know this is going to happen at some stage. Guys. When that situation happens, obviously as a parent you feel a little bit awkward, as a kid you feel a little bit awkward, but as a parent you have more life experience, right? So you kind of get over it. I think as a kid you should try out awkward them.
By doing what?
It's like, oh, that's a good position.
No.
Jesus, he's going fairly fast now and then.
Oh no, I'd be mortified.
He won't maintain that pace. Jesus, he won't maintain. Just start commenting on it.
Oh no, I'm mortified. I'd be mortified.
Yeah, but then the parents would be like, oh my God, and then they like leave the room. You're like, thank God for that.
But you know what's even worse is when it's not even your parent, it's you're watching it with someone else's parents. That's worse. That's worse. Like,
imagine if you're watching it with your boyfriend or girlfriend's family.
That's what I'm saying. That's like me sitting down and watching a film with you and your mum and dad, and a sex scene comes on. I'd die. I would get up and walk out.
Chelsea be there later.
I'd get up and walk out. Like, no, not doing it. No way. Next one. This is me. You will laugh at this one, because I do this when we're together all the time. Walking up a hill and desperately trying to hide being out of breath. That is me.
You know you're living on a hill now when you move to Cork.
When we're like out walking or something like that, Tiger will actually turn around. You all right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like holding the fact that I'm like,
I'm marching up the hill as if I'm going into battle, and I turn around, look 500 yards back with my binoculars and say, Chelsea, you all right there?
I'd be dying.
She's getting her second lung transplanted at that stage.
He'd just be sprinting up the hills, and I am literally peeling myself up the hill.
I'm used to coastal living.
Yeah, but I'm not. So just remember that. Remember that when I moved to Cork, that I'm from the Midlands.
The weeks will be spent training on the coastal line.
I am from Flatland.
It's going to be like watching Hell Week, except it's going to be Hell Week relationship with Tig. That's what it's going to be.
So just relax yourself. If you have any ideas this summer of going and climbing all sorts of hills,
there's going to be a lot of cliffs.
Well, if you bring me up cliffs, just remember you're going to get a repeat.
I'm going to put her
You're going to get a repeat of last year. Do you want a repeat of last year?
I'm going to explain it to the people who are listening so they understand. And this is something very embarrassing for me, okay? I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling and the sudden splat that comes at the end. Okay? Right? It's very important that that's recognised. Chelsea, being from the flat, doesn't understand the dangers of a large fall. She just recognises flat is flat. Not flat is not flat. Yeah. Not recognising that anything more than like 10 foot of a drop can kill you. So she just loves the edges of stuff and like walking near them, walking down the other side of it, whatever. Like she just puts herself in immediate danger. Okay? So I introduced her to this thing called cliffs for the first time in her lives. Last summer, I was like, this is a cliff. They are dangerous. And Chelsea just goes, oh, cool. I'm going to just jump myself off the edge here.
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
I'm just going on an adventure to the edge.
I climbed down. I was curious. I wanted to get closer to the water, see the gorgeous view. He was too much of a chicken shit. He sat back and filmed me climbing out. I'm like, dude, you could see a perfectly view here from where I was standing.
I was like, all you're seeing is the ocean. It's there. It's there. I can see it from back here. Right, I don't need to see it from inside in the middle of the rocks on the bottom.
from the video, I will say it does look bad.
Because it is
but
bad.
From my point of view, relax yourself. From my point of view, it was not bad. Tig, he completely makes it look worse than what it is. It was not a big fall.
Anyway.
If I stood out further, yes, it was. But from where I was standing,
if she stood
fine.
another 4 inches out, she would have been dead. Anyway, if you want to see that video, it is over on our Patreon. Feel free to go check it out. There's loads of other lovely content that is way wilder than what our main stuff
Lads,
is.
I actually, do you know what? I have a bone to pick with you. What are you at that you're not subscribed to Patreon?
You're missing out
Get
on a whole
your
pile of
crack.
stuff.
Get your shit together.
Get your crack.
I was going to say get your crack together, but it didn't sound right. Get your shit together. Get your shit together and get your asses over to Patreon and sign up. Right, you're getting 4 extra episodes a month. And the crack is mighty over there.
And
That's
we're cheaper
what I was
than
trying
Netflix.
to say at the start.
It is cheaper than Netflix.
It's cheaper than Netflix.
If more people subscribe, we will put out more content than Netflix there for you.
Telling you, you're missing out.
You ain't going to get ads in between.
No ads.
Okay.
Nope.
You're not going to get... we will let you share with your family, I guess. We're not sharing with our family.
No, we're not.
They're not hearing it.
No.
Anyway.
Our family, we love you, but we don't want you on the Patreon.
But go check it out. That video is there, and you can all agree with me that Chelsea's a lunatic.
And to the listeners that aren't our family, the fact that we've just said that we don't want our families listening to the Patreon will show you how wild it gets. Okay, so get yourselves over there.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Next one I have is going on a first date and pretending to be surprised by everything as if you didn't already look up their life story on social media.
Did you do that to me beforehand?
I actually did. Sure, I knew yes. So no, I didn't.
You knew most of me, yeah.
I knew. I
Have you ever pretended to be into something that someone else likes just to try and impress them? You have. Look at you, you big guilty head, yeah.
I'm laughing because I distinctly remember when we went on our
I
first
love
date.
walking. I love going on adventures and walking places. 100%.
I actually remember saying that to Tig, being like, Tig was like, "Oh, I love being on the outdoors, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, me too."
And she's regretted it ever since.
I've literally every
time we go somewhere, she's like, "Do we have to go for this walk?" And I'm like,
"No,
yeah."
I don't.
I want to do this walk. You said you like walking. We're doing the walk.
Podcast disclaimer, right? I have no problem going on walks here, there, and everywhere. What I will not do is be dragged up a fucking hill. I just can't do it. I'm not. I wasn't. I can't. I wasn't built like that. I mean, I'm built different.
She will be. But give her another year. Well, she's a year in Cork. She'd be built like a mountain goat.
Did you pretend to be like interested in anything when you met me?
No.
No, of course you didn't. Because you're fucking perfect. Next one. When you try to move out of the way for someone, but then you move out of the way for you, and then you just end up going and doing a dancey dance around each other.
The tango.
So like,
you go over and back.
Fucking hate that. That happens all the time to me.
At some stage, I would love. Do you know what? The next person I see, I'm going to do this with. 100% I'm going to do this with. You go side, they go side, same side again. I'm going to just put my hands out, grab them for a dance, do a little spin or two or twirl or whatever, and then just let them on their merry way. That's
really awkward. Please don't do that. If someone did that to me, I would
it'll probably be a guy. I'm not going to lie, because I think lads would find that funny. They'd get a good laugh and they'd be like, da 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 da, hoo-ah. See you later, pal. Take it easy.
Now, that is just some of the things that people do that they find embarrassing, but I'm going to hit you with some of my personal ones. Now, you have some of your personal ones as well, don't you?
I've got one or two.
Right. So I'll let you know mine. And you're probably like, Chelsea, that's completely stupid. But hear me out, right? This is my personal things that I do that I feel like is embarrassing when I do it. But you probably won't think so. So sneezing or blowing my nose in public. I fucking hate blowing my nose in public. Like if I'm on work and I'm like, so like in work we have like rooms that we work in areas. So when I'm working in my area and I'm like, shit, I need to sneeze or I need to blow my nose, I will physically get off my chair and I'll go to the next room, like an empty room, and blow my nose and walk back in.
Really?
I feel like I'm being rude, blowing my nose in front of people. I'll leave a room.
But you've got like really small.
The only person I blow my nose in front of is you.
Yeah.
I've no problem doing that. But like other people, I feel like it's just out of respect. Don't be rude. You know, if you need to like, you know, blow your nose, leave the room. Go and do it somewhere and then come back. To be fair, it's nasty, like, you know what I mean? It's not a nice thing, like. You hear someone snuts coming out of their fucking nose.
Or is it just a natural thing?
It's a natural thing, but that's just one of my personal ones.
I love people. I don't know why I love people that are like this, but I love people. They're like, oh, I don't like attention. I don't like drama. And then they have the biggest sneezes of all time. They're like, there's a build up.
Yeah. What's with the fucking face?
The eye is going into the back of the head. They're searching for the sneeze. That's what they're doing. And they're just gone. And everyone in the next 4 miles is like, Jesus, what just happened there?
Yeah, you kind of have. I have a really girly sneeze. This last one I have happens to everybody. And don't lie, because it does. When I push the door when it says pull. Now,
and you get that moment, you're like, oh
my God, it's go, so embarrassing.
Especially if someone catches you doing it.
I know, and I always get caught doing it. I always get caught doing it.
You know, when you're lucky, you've probably pushed and walked into the door and it's just rebounded and slapped you in the face.
It's so embarrassing when that happens. You're like, go around, open up, swallow me whole. Now, hate it. What's your ones? You have some there.
I only really have one that I would consider embarrassing, and it's more out of the like awkwardness attached to it. And it's always when you have to do that awkward little run when someone like is either holding a door open for you, or you're trying to cross the street and the car's waiting on the pedestrian crossing, or that like you're just like, oh, we need to pick up the pace and someone. You just have to do that little awkward. I'm actually gonna demo it.
Go on.
So you can have a little bit of laugh, but it's all about it's like this. Whoa, just hold it. Mind the door there, quick. 2 seconds. Cheers, it's just that weird little...
To the people that watching the YouTube video, like, you're missing out. That was like the most cutest little shimmy you did there.
It's you know what it is like.
It's the hips were going.
It's like the ladies who are power walking.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is quite embarrassing. I will say that when you're trying to, someone's holding the door for you.
Especially if you're really far away from the door. The pedestrian crossing you can kind of get over because you're like,
that's different.
It's quick and it's short. They're always short. And the same like if you're like.
But if you see someone's far away, don't hold the door for them.
Yeah, there's like a zone, isn't there? Of too far away, acceptable. But in the middle, that middle zone, you're like, oh, are they moving? You need to like, what velocity are they traveling at?
Yeah,
you know. You're trying to do science in your head. By the time you finished out figuring out that they were too far away in the first place, they're now in the zone of safety, and you're like, oh crap, no, I have to keep it open.
But then you feel like you're being rude. Then you feel like she's like, oh shit, they've saw me walk in now in front of them. Is it rude if
and I close the door behind them?
Is it rude if I don't hold the door? So again, like what Tyke said, you're kind of like, you're judging whether you should hold it or not. I think if they're at a good distance away, don't hold the door. If they're, near enough the door, yeah, hold the door. But if they're a good distance away and you're going to make them do that awkward little shimmy run that Tyke just did, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it, lads.
I think pressure them.
Yeah, I'm timing it out.
When you know they're too far away and you open it and you just go, man, motherfucker, let's go. Come on. Hup, hup, hup. Start drawing them in like cattle. Hup, now. Hup, hup. Yep. And they go, hup, 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 hup. And they start getting an old track going. Like horses.
It's not worse. But we want to know, is there anything that you guys do personally that you find embarrassing, or now find embarrassing that we wouldn't find embarrassing,
but
there was
that's
a few there that I do
that
a lot of people wouldn't find embarrassing, and they're not. Like they're like sneezing, that's normal. Blowing your nose, that's normal. But that's just my personal thing. I just get really awkward about it. But is there anything that you guys do? Let us know, because we all have that, one or two things that we do that we're like, I hope no one sees me doing this kind of thing. We all have that.
Yeah.
So let us know. So we are going to round things off with our new segment that we like to call again, It's a Bop or a Stop. Last week, who won last week? I think I won last week.
Yeah, we're 1-1 apiece now.
Whoop whoop. 1-1.
Have you got a song?
Of course I have a song. I always have a song.
We do this song.
How?
I need to figure out a song.
Lads, look, this happened in season 1. Can you now physically see who's always more prepared?
I'm going to see what I've been I'm going to go.
This lad is never prepared for recording.
I'm not going to pick out of like just a random song that I know is going to be good. I'm going to go onto my YouTube and see what have I recently been listening to.
That's not good enough, Tyke. Now you need to be more prepared. You need to be well more prepared.
I've got a few that actually I've listened to. Now, actually, I need to explain to people why we can't physically play the songs on the podcast, because we're still not fully sure what the story is with copyright.
Yeah, we kind of have to be careful. But yeah, we don't want to be getting in trouble, lads, in season 2. You know what I mean? So we need to do a little bit more research and find out more if we can actually play the physical song on the episodes. But hopefully we can soon enough.
And we can for sure put it on our Instagram story. So we are definitely going to be doing that.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. Now I'm going to pick a song. I'm not going to try and win your. Well, I now know what her song is.
No, it's actually not that song. It's actually not. I didn't mean to play that song.
As I was saying, I'm not going to be basic and pick a song that I know is going to be like a song everyone will like. I'm going to pick one of like the random songs I've recently listened to.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not out here to try and people please. I'm here to tell you this is my choice of song that I think is a bop, and you can either agree or disagree. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not going to be basic like Chelsea. Yeah.
Dare you?
Right. Do you want to go first? So
yeah,
ladies first. Let's hear. What is your song of the week?
Oh, my song of the week is Bohemian Rhapsody by motherfucking Queen.
Good shout.
I know.
We're not even going to have to cut in a little
we
bit of
don't even have to.
there.
No, we don't, because that is an absolute bop. And if anybody comes at me and tells me that it's not, you're wrong.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. That is a good one. That is
a
great
choice.
It's going to be a people pleaser.
And we were bopping out hard to that in the car last night.
Yeah, bopping away. Nearly knocked my eyes out of me going into a roundabout. I'm going to go for one that I was reminded of recently, and I was like, oh, this is an absolute bona fide bop.
Go on.
And especially when you're in that mood at the weekend and you're just ready to go for a big party. Saturday Night by Wakefield.
I don't know if I know it.
You definitely know it.
We're going to cut really quick.
Right.
Because I don't know what the song is.
Back in 2 secs.
Go.
5 minutes later.
Quack, 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 quack.
Bum,
bum, bum, bum, bum, bum, bum, bum.
That's an absolute tune.
It's a tune.
In fairness, it is. I actually forgot about that song.
I feel like we need to do that TikTok dance, or do a dance of that on TikTok so that people can bring it back, because those were the good days.
They were good days.
Everyone did that dance back in the day.
Yeah. But go over to our Instagram and vote which song you think is an absolute bona fide bop.
Do you want the old basic bop over here? Or
Well, how dare you say that about Queen?
Saturday Night Classic?
Queen Bohemian Rhapsody is not basic.
Come on. You know you want the Saturday Night.
How dare you say that?
You know you want it.
Dare you? How dare you? But go over and vote and let us know which one you think was an absolute bop and which one you think was an absolute stop.
And while you're there, go check out our link tree in our bio, because it's got the link for our Patreon.
Yeah, man.
Go hit that follow button on there as well.
New episodes coming out every Monday morning.
Monday, keeping you going.
The crack is mighty over there, lads.
Extra
like
content.
I said, go and get your shit together. All right? Like I said, we're cheaper than Netflix.
And make sure as well, even if you don't want to subscribe to the Patreon, which is fair enough. I mean, you know, the economy's not in a great place. Fair enough. We understand. Share the podcast. Please share the podcast.
Tell all your family, your friends, your next door neighbour, your next door neighbour's dog. Tell everybody.
Tell everyone. Because we are on YouTube. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcast. We were on the radio. We
were in the newspaper.
We were on the newspaper. Southern Star. Thanks very much for looking after us. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like a bad smell.
We are about 10 grand short of getting one of those planes that like travels along the sky with a banner. Yeah. Saying, check out this crowd.
I would do that. You know what we're going to throw out to you now, lads, right? But we have you here. No, we're going to throw out. We're going to ask for your opinion and your advice and your input. Tyga's looking at me going, what the fuck are you about to ask them?
She's gone rogue, lads.
Just throwing it out there. But we are looking for studio suggestions.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
Oh,
so
yeah. This is the second last time that we're going to be in the log cabin.
This is our second last day to record in the cabin because I am moving to Cork next week. So
she's finally done it, lad. She's finally realised Cork is the best county.
So that's actually made me quite sad. I've actually just had that realisation. This is our
if
second
your
last
suggestion,
time to record.
I swear to God, if you suggest to us that we need to get like fake wood as the background of the studio, I am going to lose it. I want something nice. I want something like cool,
so
suave,
we've been looking up like designs and stuff like that for our studio, and we want your guys' input. What you think our studio should look like. So if you've got any suggestions, let us know. Yeah. Okay, we're not saying that I might actually do exactly what you send us, but ideas are always. We're on a budget here, lads. So if you've got any ideas for looks, or decor for our studio, let us know.
And if you want to donate to help us put it together, we will also take those donations.
Listen, lads, we're always open to donations, and frankly, we could use it. Like I said, we're living on a budget here.
So far, we have a used microwave, a sofa from the 70s.
Oh.
I think there might actually be like an old throw that goes on top of it somewhere.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the accessories.
I think that's also come from the 70s, though, so that might not be great.
We can upgrade it with some new
We've
blankets.
a boxing bag.
Yep.
An old boxing bag. And I think we might have a doily.
Oh, wow.
But no table to put it on. So, like, we're doing well. It's
we're doing all right. It's chic. We're setting the ambience. You know what I mean?
Hipsterish. hipsterish. But do we want it to be like? Not really.
We want to be updated. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you wanna donate, lads, we would much appreciate. We actually need to get a PayPal up.
Money, yeah, donate money. Please don't be sending us your furniture from the 70s as well. Oh my god! If
you would like to donate, we actually don't have a PayPal on our actual podcast page. Well, we both have PayPals on our private pages.
We'll probably put links. Do you know what? Oh my god, we could turn it into a competition. We'll put both of our PayPals on our one and see who gets the most.
Oh my god, that's actually a great idea.
Oh my god, that's what we'll do.
So if you would like to donate and help us in setting up our new studio in the new house, you can donate towards our personal PayPals in our personal social media account.
We're probably going to put our personal PayPals on the T's and C's pages as well, so you can actually find them in our link tree.
Yep.
And you'll get all the information you need from there. Yep. But guys, we're going to end the episode at that point.
It's been emotional, lads.
It's like been a long one.
Just remember this background. This is going to be the second last time you see this background. We have got one more recording session tomorrow in the cabin. I'm feeling very emotional about this right now. And you won't ever see the cabin again. So, yeah. It's been real. Have an amazing weekend. And we will see you guys next week.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Good luck.